Hi everyone, my name is Jackie Grandmont. I was a Rotary Youth Exchange student and I am a counselor at RILA now. I was camper at RILA for a few years, and so I want to talk to you guys today about something that I kind of introduced to our campers at eRILA, and Gail Marie wanted me to talk to you guys about. Before I get into that, I want to kind of get you guys thinking about leadership qualities of a leader. So just think about to yourself, what does being a leader mean to you? So just kind of like in your head, what kind of qualities, what does a leader do in your mind? And then when you think of leaders, who comes to mind? So like specific people in your community, in the world, or in your club. So today I would like to talk to you guys. Well, I'm not live, obviously, I'm sorry. I can't be here in person. It just didn't work out with my schedule. But right now, and for you guys, I'll be talking about eco and ego intelligent leadership. So these are concepts that I came across not too long ago, and I really liked them. For me, it's a nice way to think of leadership instead of like all the different, there are all kinds of quizzes you can take to see what kind of leader you are. I like this because it's super simple and it's easy to think about. So eco and ego intelligent leadership was developed by Sharon Oliver and Frederick Holscher. I'll send links to online resources. So the ideas are used in the workplace mostly, like that's how they talked about it, but it can be, for the eRILA presentation, I talked about it in schools, and you can also use it in clubs and stuff. So ego intelligent leadership is a top-down approach. There's a clear hierarchy. So you've got someone at the top and then people below them, and tasks kind of get done by the people below the leader. So there's heavy instructions on how a task is going to be done. There's like a limit on what people can accomplish as individuals, and it's all about the person in charge. There's a lot of like, the leader oversees everything that's done. So in a club, if you're organizing an event, the person in charge sees every detail, and so it tends to be very focused on one person. So ego intelligent leaders lean heavily on what they can accomplish as individuals, and as I'm sure you can imagine, like especially in a club scenario, being bossed around or instructed all the time by one person kind of gets old, and people tend not to feel connected to what they're doing or really inspired by what they're doing. So the developers of these concepts thought about eco intelligent leadership, and so there aren't hierarchies. There's no bosses, but there's facilitators of ideas and like the direction that your club is going. Oh, sorry. So eco-intelligent leadership, if we want, like, relies on the idea of a ecosystem. So if you think about an ecosystem, there are many interconnected parts, and everyone has a job, and everyone brings different strengths to the table. So everyone has a purpose, in other words. Eco-intelligent leaders recognize the ecosystem of interconnected teams and individuals. So they use this as a tool to facilitate good group work by relying on the help of others and the strengths that other people bring to the table. So for example, if I'm planning a Zoom event or like a conference, and I know that, say Scott is really good at talking about mental health, and Patty is really good at organizing and setting up Zoom meetings and like the technical stuff. then I'll lean on them to support me to help my event run smoothly. This doesn't make me less of a leader because I can't do it all myself. In fact, it makes me a better leader because I know how to delegate and lean on other people for their strengths and things that I don't know how to do. The reason why this type of leadership is effective is that people have a tendency to follow leaders that they can trust and feel connected to. And additionally, they feel inspired by what they're doing. So I have on the screen, eco-intelligent leaders determine the what, but they leave the how for their team to determine. So just thinking about them together, an ego-intelligent leader will tell you what to do and how to do it, and an eco-intelligent leader will discuss what needs to be done and leave the group to decide how the task is to be completed. So now we'll talk about some attributes of a successful eco-intelligent leader. So as I'm sure you can imagine, it would be easy as a leader to lose focus on goals while also trying to operate as an eco-intelligent leader. So Oliver and Holscher developed attributes of successful eco-intelligent leadership, which I will discuss next. So the first one is unleashing individual talent. As I discussed in the previous slide, this is very important for eco-intelligent leaders. Rather than barking out orders, eco-intelligent leaders require their people to determine how they can contribute to the goal, not only through their own talents, but also through their ability to collaborate with others. So next, eco-intelligent leaders understand the difference between micromanagement and supporting others in the group. So they aren't telling you how to do something every step of the way, but when you need help, they're giving you that assistance or whatever you may need that they can provide. So next, eco-intelligent leaders can accept their own weakness. So that's the shared vulnerability. I know that I'm not very good at like some crafty things. So if I need to create decorations for my event, I might ask someone who, has more of that crafty side or has experience decorating events. And luckily, in a big club, you're likely to find those people. And then lastly, eco-intelligent leaders do not dominate the leadership space, and they're comfortable with sharing the spotlight. So they're not always worried about being the top leader, like the head of an event. They're okay with that, like sharing that spotlight. Ego-intelligent leadership can be effective if the work is simple and predictable. So, for example, on a hockey team, it's fine that your coach, makes all the most of the decisions and kind of decides how the practices are going to run and stuff, because it's quite simple. And there will be captains and stuff, but it's usually the coach, especially on younger teams, that's making the decisions and deciding where the team is going to go in terms of development, etc. So eco-intelligent leadership is more effective in complex and uncertain situations like planning an event with your Interact or I guess it would be Rotary. Sorry, I have Interact Club because of ERILA, where there could be many obstacles and you have to do your best to collaborate with others. So the key is to think about these concepts and take a look at how you're leading and the scenario you're in. With that in mind, we're going to take a moment to think about leaders. Leaders have specific traits, abilities, and beliefs that I want to get you guys thinking about. So you should have a handout that looks like this. If you don't, that's fine. Just any paper or even in your head. I want to list some characteristics, abilities, and beliefs that leaders have. And then in your breakout rooms, you can go over the questions that I have given to Gail Marie. talking about these different sections. So yeah, just in conclusion, I've given a few resources to Gail Marie, and she should be able to answer any questions you may have. If you have a burning question, I can always answer that via email. I'll send my email along with the resources. So thank you for listening, and I hope I gave you a new concept to think about. Thanks.